Hello everyone, I hope you've all been enjoying learning how to do this Tunisian simple stitch. It really is simple and it's absolutely gorgeous. So today we're going to move a little step forward with this. We're going to add another colour in, and we're going to do it two ways, which produces two different effects, of course. So this is the effect that you get if you add the second colour in to the left hand side and do two passes with that. And there's another, you get the striped effect if you add your new colour in on the right hand side and do a forward and back pass. So I'm going to show you how to do those. They just look so pretty. But first you'll need to know what hook size to use. So I have an 8-ply cotton here. What I do is divide the 8 by 2, which gives me 4. Then you add 2 more to that number. It sounds odd, doesn't it? And that gives me 6. So I'm going to use my 6mm hook. Now these hooks are just the El Cheapos. They were $11 online, I think eBay, and I'll tell you what, they have not missed a beat. I love these just as much as any other hooks. So we are using my trusty bamboo hook today. So we need another colour, scissors and darning needle, and let's go and get into it now. If you're going to make a blanket alongside of me, you will do 20 chain along the bottom to start with. But for the purpose of this exercise, I'm only going to do 10, just to make it much quicker, so I can get to the good stuff quicker to show you. All right, starting off with a slip stitch on our hook. Now with Tunisian crochet, we count that as one already. So yarn over and pull through, and that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Now we are going to go into the back bump of these chains. So there's your little V's on the front of the chain. You turn it over a bit and you'll see these little back bumps. We're going to do a pick up a loop, pull it through and hold it on your hook. So we do the same thing going along the chain, pulling it up and holding it on your hook. It is a little bit tricky, this first foundation row. I find that with so many things. Trying to get neatly into the chain. But once that's finished, you fly along a whole lot quicker. Okay, let's count how many stitches we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's exactly what we were after. So I'm going to dive straight into the second colour. Now when adding your second colour on the left hand side, you can't do it like you do it with normal crochet. You know how often we can undo that stitch and then bring the new colour in underneath? Well, it doesn't work out well. So when you're doing your colour changes on the left, you have to do them at the start of the new colour row. Okay? So we've just popped our new colour on and basically done the first stitch. So it's yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and keep on going with that. Now our end stitch doesn't get used. We don't go near that vertical bar at all. We will go now under each other vertical bar. Popping your hook through there, pulling up a loop and keeping the loop on your hook. That's nice and easy. This is where that lovely flow comes from with the Tunisian crochet. Now we need to find the 2 stitches that we need to go between. Now when you're looking for this on your left hand side, it's always going to be the colour of the row that you are doing, okay? Because you could arrive here and get a bit confused, easy done, and go into the green stitch here. Alright, so just remember, it'll be the same colour as the row that you've just done. Pulling a loop through, and now we're going to change back to our green. What we just finished then was called the forward pass. Now with our green yarn, we're going to do a return pass. I often just accidentally say a backwards pass, but it is actually called a return pass. So pulling your yarn through your first stitch, leaving that one as it is, now yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Pulling through 2 all the way to the end. You get to the end and there's 2 left and you pull through both of those. Again, you have at the very end your vertical bar that you don't touch. You go under the second one, pull up your yarn and leave it all on the hook. Through the vertical bar and loops on the hook. So this is a forward pass. Now we're going to look for that special little stitch to work between. I know that it's going to be green, and here you'll see it's very, very tiny. Hang on, I will get a needle to show you. Okay, let's have a look at this little stitch here that can get tricky and upset you when your work doesn't look just right. You have to find the area which is in the center. This looks like a pretzel, okay? You've got a big loop here, a big loop here, and along the bottom it's more flat. So you are wanting to go in between the pretzel to have 2 loops on the left and 1 loop on the right. Okay, so we go into here and you can see there's the 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through. Now we're going to do a return pass with the blue yarn. So picking up your yarn, crossing it over the green, pulling your loop through 1, now pulling your loop through that same one again and the next one to it. So pulling through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So this is a return pass. Pulling through the last 2, not touching our first vertical bar, going under the second vertical bar. This is a forward pass. here's that little trick again. So we know it's going to be blue. We find our little pretzel. You can actually turn it side on if you want to as well, and you'll see the 2 stitches there. Popping your hook in between that pretzel and pulling up a loop. There we have another row. So we're starting to develop what is a really pretty pattern here with the 2 colours. Grabbing your green, yarn over, pull through your first loop, yarn over, then pull through that same first loop and the second. Doing a return pass. One more time. I often change my hand position depending on which side of the passes that we're going, just whatever's comfortable really. Okay, so we're going to pull our loop up from under that second vertical bar and keep on going, gathering loops on your hook. Into that pretzel stitch, I call it, and there you have your pattern developing. Okay, I still have 10 stitches on my hook, which is fabulous. Make sure you take the time to count them every so often, because it is quite easy to lose a stitch and then you're doing a decrease and then you've got to pull a lot of work undone. So just check on your stitch count too. It's worthwhile. Now we're going to swap colours again, and I'm going to cast off this time. So pulling a loop through that first loop, yarn over, pulling through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Finish that to the end, and then we will cast off, which is much like knitting. Feels like knitting when you cast off. Righto, so let's go through the second vertical bar, and this time, instead of leaving both the stitches on your hook, you pull the left hand one through the right. Through the vertical bar, pull up a loop, pulling it through. Now pull your left hand side stitch through the right. You can do this all in one motion if you prefer. Just like this. But like knitting, we're casting off the stitches. Pulling through both. And into that last one on the end, pulling that through, and there we have our super cute little multicolour Tunisian simple stitch. I really love the effect that it gives. That's your back, there's your front. It's really gorgeous. Okay, let's go and do it from the right hand side this time. Now I'll show you how tricky Tunisian stitches can be. I just assumed that because I was still doing the simple stitch, even though we were changing colour, that the size would be the same of each row, and that, like the left hand side, I would need to do 20 forward and return passes, and it would be the right size. So I did that, and it actually turned out about 1 centimetre too long. So I've pulled them undone, and I will cast off and sew in the yarn ends of these other little samples. It was just a very interesting thing to discover. I honestly thought they would be the same, but they're not. So that means we need to keep on measuring. Keep measuring as we go. Same width, 26. And now that I've pulled the top undone, it's 26 as well. So we need to keep in mind with our Tunisian crochet that each piece is individual. We've got 10 chain on our hook. Now we're going to do a return pass so we can add the blue in from the right hand side. So yarn over, pull through 1, then yarn over and pull through 2. Pull through 2 all the way along. Now when you get close to the right hand end, we can add our colour in on this one. So yarn over with your second colour, pull it through the last 2 stitches, firm up your work, a little bit tricky to start with. Once we get on a roll, all will be good. Okay, so we've got our first vertical bar there, going into that second vertical bar, pulling up a loop. Under the vertical bar, pull up a loop. Doing a forward pass to the left hand side. There's our pretzel. And there we go. Okay, so we've introduced our second colour. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 1. Now yarn over and pull through 2. All the way back. Now we're at the last 2 and we can bring up our other colour and we can pop it through the 2 stitches on the hook. Alright, neaten that up a bit there. So there's your first vertical bar going into your second vertical bar, doing a forward pass towards the left, coming to the end of our last row. So we need to find that pretzel, which is very obvious for us this time, straight through the middle. Now yarn over and pull through 1. Yarn over, pull through 2, 2, 2. Here we are at our last 2 stitches. Now we can pick up the blue and go through both of those. Ignoring your first vertical bar, going under the second, pulling up a loop. Do this as a forward pass. There's our pretzel, nice and obvious. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. A return pass. 2 on our hook, pick up our other colour, pull through the last 2 stitches. Firm up your work a bit, ignoring that first vertical bar, working under the second and all the way along. And our pretzel, pulling up a loop there, yarn over, pull through 1. yarn over, pull through 2. And there we have it. We have developed little solid lines, solid rows of colour. Now I'm going to cast off with the green colour. So ignoring our first vertical bar, hook under the second one, pull up a loop and pull it through the other loop on your hook. Through the vertical bar, pull up a loop, pull it through the other one that's on the hook. If you feel comfortable doing it this way, you might like to try doing it all at once. So hook under the loop, pull up a loop, pull through. You can make it a single motion if you want to. There's a vertical bar hiding there, and finishing off in our little pretzel. And we're done. There you go, that's pretty sweet. I really like them both actually. I think I'm going to thoroughly enjoy making this little blanket, and even more so to be able to use up yarn again. I think that seems to be the theme for me this year, is use that yarn that's been looking at me for so long. Here you have your solid rows next to the plain Tunisian simple stitch square. Of course, this is simple stitch as well, just adding an extra colour. And again, like the other version, I did 20 rows like I did for this one, and this one also turned out bigger. So I have pulled about 1 centimetre back of that one as well. Again, we're just going to have to measure to make sure. I can't explain why these two would be any different to this one, but we just have to go with what is. Okay, I hope this little tutorial has been really helpful, and it will be another trick that you've got in your arsenal for your Tunisian crochet. I'm going to go, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Bye for now.